everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Today, I want to share with you the 2 things you can do right now, no matter what phase of life you're in or who you are, to get to the next level of success and happiness in your life. So stay tuned. I'm going to share those 2 things with you up next.
Inspire the best version of yourself with tips and skills you can implement right away. Look, it's a mind, body, and soul connection, and we all know that when we feel better, we do better. Your future starts now.
All right, so I'm excited to share these 2 things with you because they're easy to do and anyone can do them. And basically, they're the only 2 things that are holding anyone back from the next level of success and happiness. And what are they? It's pretty simple. It's just your thoughts and your actions. So that's a pretty broad statement, and I want to break it down for you and explain what I mean and how you can use your thoughts and your actions right now to get you to the next level, to where you want to be. So first, let me break down the first of the 2, which is your thoughts. So I think we all know thinking positive, being in control of your thoughts is a helpful thing. But how exactly and what exactly can you do to see a big change in your life? Well, I think to illustrate that best, I want to share an old parable with you that really touched me. And I think of it from time to time, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's a story about an old Cherokee brave that is having a discussion with their grandson. And the Cherokee brave is letting the grandson know that there is a battle that we have inside of all of us. Each of us has a battle between a bad wolf and a good wolf inside of us. None of us are lucky enough to have just the good wolf, and none of us have just the bad wolf. We're all equal. We all have one of each that we're battling. And the bad wolf, the evil wolf, is full of anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, ego, depression, worrisomeness. The list goes on and on. All the negative emotions many of us have felt from time to time in our lives or have recognized in others, which is easier to do sometimes. So all those negative, nasty things, that's what the evil wolf is full of. But we also have the good wolf. The good wolf is full of joy, peace, love, happiness, humility, serenity, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. All of those wonderful qualities we would love to have in ourselves and see in others. So the grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "So which wolf wins?" To which the elderly grandfather replied, "Well, my grandson, the wolf that wins is the wolf that you feed." So think about that for a minute. That's also pretty vague. I mean, good story. It makes sense. You know it's the truth. But how does this apply to our everyday life? Well, you can start simply with yourself. So when you wake up in the morning, especially women, this is true. When you look in the mirror, are you thinking good things about yourself or negative things? If you're starting the morning already beating yourself up, you're tilting the scale to the evil wolf. You're feeding that bad wolf. And the more you do that, the more you tilt the scale, the more that evil wolf is going to win in your life. The more of that you will see. And so start with yourself. That's the easiest thing you can do, is in the morning when you're looking at yourself, think positive things. Think about the great day that you're going to have. Encourage yourself. Think to yourself, you're going to do great. You've got this. You know, anything that you're worrying about, see yourself succeeding at. And admire the good qualities of yourself. If there's something you like about yourself, focus on that. Build that up. So you start there. And then when you go out into the world, another easy thing you can do, because none of this has to be hard, is just to smile at somebody that maybe needs your smile. So if you see somebody running around in the grocery store distracted, make eye contact with somebody. Smile at them. That goes a long way in lifting somebody else up. You could also help other people out where you see the need, just holding the door open for somebody, you know, staying like a few seconds longer to hold that door open for somebody that's out in the parking lot. That makes a big difference. Just do what you can where you can, and I think you'll see that when you start to tilt the scale on the good wolf side, that you will see more synchronicities and more serendipitous positive events happen in your life when you start to tilt that scale up on and build up the good wolf side. So feed the good and make an effort to stop feeding the negative so much, and I promise you, you will see more positive things happen in your life when you're feeding the good wolf. Another way too is to try to remove judgment. So we're all going through something. We've all been through something hard in our life at one time or another, and a lot of people don't share the struggles that they have, that they're dealing with. And so be kind to everybody and don't judge. If you see a mom with an unruly child, you may not know that that child has special needs, for example. Or if you see somebody who is just looking really stern or maybe snaps at you, you may not know that they're dealing with a cancer diagnosis that they just received. So try not to have those snap judgments. Know that everybody's going through something and that you don't know the whole story. And try not to feed into gossip. If somebody is gossiping about somebody else, you don't have to participate. You can bring up the possibility that maybe they're going through something else, or mention the good qualities in this person. Turns the conversation around, and you'll feel better about it in the end. So another story to relate to how your thoughts can really influence the success that you have and the happiness that you have in your life. So there is a story that I heard about in a book I just finished reading called Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi, which I highly recommend, and I'll be pulling pieces of what I learned from that book and sharing it with y'all from time to time, because there are so many good nuggets in there that were real world examples that are really relatable, which I connect to because I like things simple and broken down so that I can in turn explain it to y'all and it be easy to apply into your life right away so that you can design a life that you love. So aside from the wolf story, which is great and helps you to think about your thoughts every day and how that can change your reality, he also explains the Boy Scout story. So I don't remember exactly how it went, but maybe his son was in the Boy Scouts. He took him to a Boy Scout camp, and one of the adventures that they were going to have was to go whitewater rafting. And this particular river that they were going to be going down was going to be having some pretty advanced rapids. So I don't know if you know this, and I didn't really remember this, but rapids are classified. So there's 1 through 6, I believe. And 1 being real novice and 6 being pretty dangerous. Well, the rapids for this particular river the Boy Scouts were going to be rafting down were a level 4. And a level 4 is an advanced level. So Dean, the father, is listening to the instructor very intently, wanting to make sure he and the boys are paying real good attention, because he's really nervous about this situation and not even sure if it's something they should do. So he's paying attention to the instruction from this instructor on how to handle the river and the rapids, and just really trying to soak it in and learn what they need to do so he feels less nervous about this whole situation. And he thought it was really interesting and took away something that's applicable to our life. And he learned from the instructor a lesson that is so good. The instructor told the boys, there's going to be a lot of things happening as we're rafting down this river. He said, the only thing I want y'all to focus on is where you want to go. He said, we'll be shouting out a bunch of directions and instructions to you along the way. And I don't want anybody to mention anything that's in the way. I don't want you to focus on any trees that are in the way or any rocks, and I don't want anybody to mention them. We will not be paying attention to that, and we will not be drawing everyone's attention to the things that are in the way of our path. He said, I want everybody to agree that we will only speak and shout and acknowledge and point to and direct to the path we want to go down. So how huge is that? That totally applies to life. Do not focus on what you cannot control, what you cannot move, the big boulders in your way. Don't spend an ounce of your precious time focusing on those things. There's nothing you can do about it. The worry and the fretting and the focus that you're giving to those negative things, the things that are in your way, are wasting a lot of time and potentially creating more negative results. Because if you focus on those trees and those paths and those stones in your path, the negative things, the things that you don't want, what's going to happen? What does the instructor know? What is he trying to teach these boys? What is he trying to keep them from? He's trying to keep them from hitting those objects. We don't want to go there, so we're not going to focus on it. The same goes in your life. If you don't want something to happen or you're worried about a negative outcome, don't focus on it. Focus on what you want to have happen. Focus on the direction you want to take, on the outcome you want to have happen, and you're more likely to get there. Put all your energy, all that energy that you might be using on worrying and fretting or delaying, and put it to where you want to go, and you're more likely to get there. So I thought that was a wonderful story, totally relates to one of the two things that you need to control to get to the next level of success and happiness in your life, your thoughts. Control your thoughts. Focus on the positive, and positive thoughts, basically, it is going to get you so much more success than the other option. Okay, so the second thing was actions. So how can actions and what actions do you need to take to get to the next level? Well, again, two things within actions you need to know. Your actions need to be inspired, first of all. So I have a couple other videos where I've talked about goal setting and how important it is to make sure you're setting the right kind of goals, that you're doing the groundwork, you're laying a good solid foundation when it comes to goal setting, and to make sure, most of all, that you've sat with yourself and made sure your goals are your heart's desires, that they're not somebody else's goals, that they're things that you really want to accomplish, that make you feel good, that are on your bucket list. And if you're starting from a place of inspiration and passion, taking action after you've done that, you're more likely to realize that success and that happiness if you're taking inspired action because you've recognized that your goal is important to you for what reasons that matter. And when you have identified those things, the actions you take will be much more important in terms of getting you to where you want to go. Okay, so the other thing that your actions need to be, in addition to being inspired actions, because that's the fuel that fires you through the long process it might take to reach your goal, having that inspiration to push you through, to remind you to keep going when the times get tough, your actions need to be consistent. And I've said this before, even in terms of like getting fit and working out, there are so many programs, so many diets out there, it almost doesn't matter which one you pick, whether it's keto or low carb or high protein or macro balanced, or which program you work out, whether you're doing HIIT training or strength training or working out with a trainer or working out in your home. Those things almost don't matter as much as being consistent. So many people will pick a new program, whether it's related to their fitness or their business goals. They'll figure out some new thing that's going to get them to the next level where they want to be, and they give up after day 3 because they aren't in tune with those inspired goals that they should be having. They haven't done enough internal work to figure out what's more important. The comfort that you get from quitting when it gets tough, or from the long-term satisfaction of reaching the goal that's more important to you. But being consistent, no matter what program you pick, what action steps you pick, is what's going to get you to succeeding, to realizing that goal or that next level of happiness that you're after. So just realize that taking one step after another, doing it consistently, is what makes people successful. Think about people who take up a new instrument. They are no good. They're terrible when they first start to maybe learn how to play the guitar or the fiddle, for example, or the piano. But it's that consistent practice. It's like working out, strengthening your muscle. Your mind is a muscle also. You can totally get over the worrisome negative comments, that internal monkey talk that you have in your mind that's going on repeat, by practicing more positive thoughts, by maybe praying in the morning or meditating or having positive mantras that you repeat. You can start to create new habits, new neural pathways by just taking consistent action one step after another until before you know it, it's part of your life. And there is a good quote also that reiterates this by Malcolm Gladwell. And he says, the key to mastering anything, the key to mastery is 1,000 hours of practice. So think about the things you want to master in your life. A better relationship, better internal speaking, the thoughts that you have, the internal conversation in your head, your fitness, your business goals, your income goals. 1,000 hours of practice, doing the same thing over and over and over towards that goal. That's all you need. So anyway, I hope that has helped you guys realize that your thoughts and your actions are the only 2 things you need to focus on in order to get you to the next level of success and happiness. And they're things that are so easy that you can start implementing today. So try to pick 1 or 2 of those things that you could improve upon and start tomorrow. Start today. Smile at someone. Speak better to yourself. Start a ritual of gratitude and happiness in the morning, and figure out what action steps you're going to commit to, and then start doing them. So I'll see y'all next week, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.